money and you try living without it. Let's see you when you eat. Hey guys, welcome to Hey Nerds, and in today's video we are talking all about getting to the money. Hey. This video is all about how to negotiate and some factors to consider. When I think about it, like, it just makes me happy to discuss this because it was information I wish I would have had way back when I was negotiating. And I've had to learn a lot of lessons, and I've made some mistakes through trial and error, you know? So I'm sharing some of my stories today, lessons I've learned, and then some of the information I've gathered that's helped me to interview and negotiate better. So let's just jump right on in. So my first tip is to protect your headspace. You see this? All of this up in here? Protect it, okay? So why we want to do that? If you're trying to present yourself in this confident manner, right? Being the best you, it is very difficult to do that when you're in a negative mental space. Right? So there are some things that we can do to put ourselves in a positive headspace, right? We can eat a nutritious meal that morning, right? Maybe something that's gonna bring us energy, maybe a smoothie, maybe a power bowl, right? We can hydrate ourselves, get some water, get the appropriate amount of sleep so that we can be prepared. We don't want to be groggy or like you just worked a 12-hour shift the night before, you know, so you dragging along in the negotiation process. So do those things that's gonna bring you energy, like have you feeling rejuvenated and good and ready to get to these dollars, okay? Play music that makes you feel good, right? I love having dance parties by myself, okay? I enjoy it. So turn on some music. I know I faithfully will tell my Alexa to turn on happy music. I'm trying to make sure she don't turn on. But I faithfully tell her to play happy music for me and just have fun, right? So do those things that's gonna bring us like good energy, have us in a good headspace. The opposite of that though is being in a negative headspace. Now we can do this ourselves or have outside factors that do this for us. So in terms of ourselves, then maybe we are participating in negative self-talk like,
I don't deserve this position. I don't see myself asking for that much money because that's just too much. Who am I to ask for that? You know, people like me don't make that kind of money.
Like all of that just negative energy. I feel negative in saying those kind of things because like I've worked so hard on myself to like think opposite, right? Like training myself to know and believe what I deserve, to know my value and whatnot. So anyway, you got to be careful with that negative self-talk because if that's how you feel about yourself, how are you going to portray a different you? If that's what you think about your own self, you know, and get somebody to believe that you are worth more if you don't feel worth more, right? Another thing is in terms of negative people, woo, I talked about this in some of my other videos, y'all, because that whole people around you and environment thing, like, woo, I'm preaching to the choir here, okay? You gotta watch those people, right? This could be your family, your friends, which, you know, you might need to exit some of these people, but family, friends, it could be classmates, peers, co-workers, right? People with that negative talk or just complaining, whining, all of that, that's gonna bring you down. So you have to watch that when you are trying to put yourself in a powerful mode and making power plays. You don't have time for that, okay? And I'll give an example because this was actually something that did happen to me. So I remember having this interview scheduled and it was kind of like midday, but earlier that day I had work events to attend. And so I go to these work events and I mean, it was a lot going on. People complaining, just negative comments, backbiting, undermining people. Like, it was a lot going on. And it just had me in such a negative space when I left there. And quite frankly, it had me in a spirit of desperation because I felt like I just want to get out of this so bad. So like, when I went into the interview, unfortunately, that was the energy that I led with was that desperation, because I wanted to get out of my situation so bad. And it didn't end up working out for me in that role. Now, mind you, I do think they were looking for a different type of person. But nonetheless, it was still like, when I reflected on the matter, I was like, I don't like the way I portrayed myself. You know, I know that I'm better than that. And so lessons moving forward, again, was to protect my mental space, protect my head space, and put myself in the best situations to present myself in the best way. So that means that if I can control it, then I'm probably going to interview or have those type of calls in the morning time, because I know that's when I have the highest and best energy. I am going to actually eat a good meal and whatnot. I'm going to get, you know, my family to wherever they need to be at, school, work, all of those different places, so that I can be in the best mental state to present myself well. So again, it's very imperative to have yourself in a positive headspace. Alright, if this video is bringing you life, if something that I'm saying is resonating with you, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, okay? Go ahead and tap it. Stick around with your girl. We are dropping these videos, baby, back to back, back to back. When you like videos such as this, it lets me know the type of content that you guys enjoy, and I can make more content of this nature, and it also helps the algorithm push it out to more people who need the information. So again, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Here's the next tip, baby. Make sure you lead with facts and not emotions, okay? Now, for me, in my culture, where I come from, it is very emotionally based. Even a background and family dynamics, very emotionally charged. So I have had to really train myself in this manner also, how to bring those facts, right? So you can start off by doing your market research, right? Seeing how much does that role go for in your state or in your area, right? You can look at the national numbers too. Now, it may vary depending on the state and whatnot, but you need to know, okay, what is the going price for this role typically, right? So that you can form a reasonable amount that you want to ask for, or a reasonable amount that you expect. There's also the salary transparency law that has been initiated, in which now employers are posting the salary range for that position. So when they have the job posted, read through that information and you'll be able to sometimes see the actual range for that position. And again, you can see if you meet the qualifications, where do you fall within that range? What do you think you are worth in that range? You know, or if that range meets numbers that you are willing to live with. All right, so in terms of determining the facts, right? So you need to sit down and ask yourself some questions before you are talking with someone else, okay? So ask yourself, what value do I bring to the table? Okay, what expertise do I have? What problems do I solve, right? What skills do I bring? What knowledge do I bring, right? Especially in nursing, where we have so many different levels of knowledge, from CNAs, LPNs, BSN, MSN, doctorate, PhD, all of these different levels, right? So where are you at? And what does that mean for you, right? Remember that people are willing to pay for value, quality, and time savers, okay? Value, again, could be your knowledge, your expertise. Quality could be like, okay, what type of person you are, right? Do you have a good work ethic, right? Are you going to increase the patient satisfaction scores because you have good people skills? You're just a compassionate person, right? Maybe you're extroverted and funny and enjoyable, right? Animated, whatever it may be. Maybe you're introverted, but you have a spirit that draws people to you, right? Whatever it may be, again, that's that quality with you, right? Maybe you're someone who will be good for the team. People like to work with you. They enjoy coming into work and knowing that, oh, I'm working with my girl today, or I'm working with my homeboy today. They're happy to see you. So again, that's quality. And in terms of time savers, maybe you're good with scheduling. Okay? Please. Scheduling is, woo, that is not something I like to do, okay? But it's something that I know I have to do, okay? Because successful people, they are strategic, all right? So, but scheduling, You got to, if you're good with that, that is valuable to someone, right? That is a time saver for someone where they can say, oh, that's one less thing that I have to do. Maybe you're willing to pick up shifts. That's something that you can throw out there, right? You are flexible in terms of the schedule. Those are things that you can throw out there. Maybe because of your background, you will have a shorter time in orientation, right? Because you're not like a brand new nurse who has never worked in a hospital setting at all, right? That's somebody who probably should do a nurse residency, but nonetheless would probably need more time doing orientation. Maybe you already have background in nursing. Maybe you worked on that unit as a patient care tech or something, right? So again, those are the things. Again, you need to make sure you highlight these factors. And speaking of it, so yes, write these things down, and then you want to practice discussing them, right? Don't feel like you gotta come up with stuff in the middle of talking to somebody, right? You should be doing this beforehand so that you can deliver yourself again in the best way. All right, so here's an example of leading with facts, okay, not emotions. I have met with the team and we would like to offer you $33 an hour. Thank you for this offer and consideration. Based on my experience of being an LPN for the last 5 years, graduating with my BSN, and earning the Emerging Scholar Award, I would be more comfortable with $39.75. Is this something that you are open to discussing? So that is in comparison to, I think I deserve more because I do a lot. Or saying because I'm a good person and people like me, you know, all of that, right? And I am one to say, you know, a bunch, right? But again, when you're practicing, that's the purpose of practicing, is so that you can get comfortable saying these statements, right? It could be uncomfortable to be feeling like, oh, I'm asking for a lot. But again, you got to get comfortable. If that's what you believe that you want in your life, it is not going to just fall in your lap. So you better put the work in, build yourself up so that you feel comfortable asking for that amount. So saying I deserve more because this and that, I feel like, and yada yada yada, you have to have some evidence, right? In that first example, we touched on being an LPN for 5 years. We touched on going back to school, getting a BSN, right? We touched on getting an award, right? So again, that's me presenting evidence of why that person would deserve that role, right? Why that person even deserves consideration to have or make more. So again, get your evidence ready, okay? Get your facts for why you deserve those dollar bills, okay? All right, next tip, do the math, okay? You have to know what works for your life, okay? There are several salary calculators out there where you can put in $30 an hour and see what that's going to be annually. And then vice versa, where you take something like 90K, 100K, 60K, 50K, whatever number it is, you put it in and see what is that hourly value. I can tell you one thing, in growing up, once upon a time, I'm like, ooh, $20 an hour? Like, I thought that was something, okay? Until you become a grown-up and you have a grown-up life and you have children to pay for and you want to give them the best life you possibly can. It's like, ooh, you have to determine the number that supports your lifestyle, okay? So again, for me, I've sat down and looked at and know what I need to do, and I have a vision for my life and where I'm going and whatnot. So that's what I'm pretty much trying to express. You have to have a vision for your life and you have to see the numbers. You have to get real with those numbers. If someone accepts a $50,000 job but your lifestyle is $70K, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be upset. You're going to be unhappy, right? Feeling undervalued. You know, you're not happy when you get off because you can't do the things that you want to do. So you have to, again, go calculate, all right, let me see what I need. Let me apply for certain roles. And again, you have to see, am I worth that much? Like, maybe I need to better a skill set. Maybe it does require going back to school or doing some type of certification or something. But again, it just depends on you and what's your background and experience. And with that being said, maybe you're someone who says, yes, I have the experience. Yes, I have the knowledge. Yes, I have implemented different projects. I've did this quality improvement program, right? I've led a unit, right? I've managed a unit of 12 nurses and this, that, all of that, right? I helped a hospital achieve magnet status, right? Those are the things that you can list and want to have readily available to help you determine, okay, what price range do I need to be in? I've done all of these different things. I feel that I deserve this price range, right? So again, very important to do the math, look at your qualifications and whatnot, and see what range you need to be in. All right, this is one of my favorite tips, which is communicating with confidence, okay? I don't know why it's my favorite. Maybe just because, again, I think it's the biggest area that I have worked on. Because it's one thing to be like, I'm cute. That is one thing. It's another thing to show up for the person that you are called to be, right? That's a whole nother ball game, right? It's another thing to get in that quiet space with God and unleash what is on the inside, right? So one has to communicate with confidence, right? We want power, right? Without screaming, hollering, I can just talk and you feel that energy that comes across, right? So you want to use powerful language. You heard me previously just talk about the I feel like and I think and all of that's not powerful, right? We want to be definitive in speaking, okay? I once heard someone say high energy, high income, and I was like, oh yes. I was for it, and again, not that it's about just money. Now again, I'm funny about statements like that because the money does matter, you know what I mean? It does. People be trying to like, I don't need money, and you try living without it. Let's see when you eat and how you eat, let's see what kind of house you living in, okay? But I do also understand the other side of it, which is that can't be all that life is about. But nonetheless, we're talking about getting the money in this video, so we focused on that right now. All right, so in terms of that language, right? So when we're saying, again, things like, I feel like I'm the best person for the job, because that's not confident, right? Versus saying, I am the best candidate for this role because, right? So again, you see a difference there, and you see a difference even in tone, right? Like, it's okay to smile, okay? It's okay to have good energy, to have that positivity coming out of you, right? Statements like, maybe we can go a little higher. And even in saying it like that, it's like, it's a question. Is it a question? Is it not a question? Like, do you want them to go higher or not, right? You want to say something more like this. Based on market research and my experience working on the unit for the last 2 years, I was expecting more of a range between $36 and $38. Are you open to a discussion of this starting salary? It's clear, it's descriptive, this is what I want, right? It's professional. So again, we want to have these definitive, powerful words, right? Not anything that puts doubt, question, uncertainty in should we have this role or not. And especially, again, because as you are moving up, that communication level is expected to be higher. Note that hesitancy and doubt can be read, right? It can come through verbally and non-verbally, right? If we're slouching down, making ourselves appear smaller, right? If we're pausing, if we're not making eye contact, we're looking away, like all of those things, again, is shrinking ourselves versus sitting up, right? Having direct eye contact with someone, being engaged, right? Maybe head nodding at the appropriate time. Those things, again, we want to come off as powerful, right? But humble at the same time. So to do this, again, maybe you want to practice by yourself. Maybe you want to practice with a friend. Whatever it is, I've heard of people interviewing and just going on interviews just to get in the habit of interviewing. But again, you want to practice presenting yourself in a powerful manner and in a way that communicates, I am confident, right? It makes me think about the Bible scripture that says, for I know the plans I have for you, right? Plans I have to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future, right? If we really, really believe that, right? Man, you better be confident. You better be confident in knowing what's yours and that your name is on it, right? If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, let it go. What's for you is going to come to you, right? That's law of attraction, which ain't nothing but scripture, okay? Please comment below. Have you changed the way that you presented yourself? Have you started using more definitive statements or just being more confident on interviews, and how did that work out for you? Or like, comment if you struggle with confidence and building that. Like, what's some of those things that hinder you? Put that in the comment box below. All right, lastly, we want to consider factors that are outside of compensation for negotiation. It may be location, right? Is it possible that the hospital or facility is closer to home versus further out? Maybe we can do remote work. Maybe if there's some chart reviews or quality improvement measures or case management. Can I do this remotely? You know, and then that way you can do your job from anywhere once you're remote. So consider that. Consider hours. So is it day shift, mid shift, night shift? Is it going to be PRN or float pool? Like, consider those different things. With that, you can also consider the differentials that could come with that, right? A lot of times there'll be a differential for nighttime and weekends. Or take this example. So the base pay could be $30. Your nighttime and evening differential could be $3. So that would be $33. Then your weekend differential could be $5. Right? So, and then if these stack on each other and you work a weekend, evening or night, then that's 38 in total, right? So you consider those things. Maybe we want to consider if there's a student loan forgiveness program, or if it's a public hospital that qualifies for the public service loan forgiveness program and whatnot, because again, that can determine if we want to accept whatever amount that they are offering, or if we want to do something different. You can see if there's a discount available. Maybe they give discounts to gyms or eating out, or maybe on internet. You know, I've seen a number of different things that hospitals, companies have done to provide incentives for their employees. So whenever you are negotiating, don't just think about the dollar bills. Think about what else comes with it. Maybe it's a company car, you know, that would eliminate you having to pay a car note or insurance or whatever it is. So again, consider those things. By thinking about these things, writing it down, it will help you to develop your bottom line and your non-negotiables. So again, these are things to consider. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I am praying blessings for you and tapping into your full potential and where God has a seat for you at in the world. So wishing you well in your journey. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.